In November of 2023, the Swell Pod took a 10-day journey across 5 states, traveling 3,580 miles with one challenge in mind.
And that challenge was to interview 100 pleasantly rebellious humans to uncover deep truths about what it takes to create something that has never existed before, challenge the status quo, maybe even change the world.
This is the Kiln Road Trip, created and produced by the Swell Pod.
In partnership with Kiln, Moterra Camper Vans, and sponsored by Taurus.
I'm Spencer McKeown.
And I'm Josh Taylor, and together we're the co-hosts of the Swell Pod and your guides on the Kiln Road Trip. Follow along on the journey.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, follow the Swell Pod on social media, and subscribe to your YouTube channel at, you guessed it, the Swell Pod.
This is episode 18 of the Kiln Road Trip, and today we're at Kiln Salt Lake City talking with Brad Romney. Brad is the founder and CEO of Verdi. Verdi AI, www.getverdi.com, helps great product teams make better product bets and keep everyone up to speed effortlessly. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you enjoy.
Welcome, Brad Romney, to the Swell Podcast.
All right.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited to be hanging out.
Yeah, no, it's great. And, you know, we would love to have interviewed you for like an hour, but today it's going to be really quick. But we'll have a great conversation. So,
Lightning round.
We want to know about you.
Well, I was just telling Josh here a minute ago who I am. I'm an artist. And that was the original. That was the first job as an artist. But I'm a dad of 4, married for 22 years, Salt Lake native. I spent 10 years in Chicago and eventually made it back here. I've been back for about 10 years now. And now founder, CEO of Verdi.
Fantastic. And we do know each other because we're good friends, aren't we?
Yeah. Way back.
And way back. Brad also came and spoke at American Express, didn't you?
Yep.
And so that was fantastic. And what really drives you as an individual?
People, more than anything. People and ideas. I've been realizing more and more over my career how much people play a role. I don't know, it's like one of those things that as an 18-year-old taking all those assessments of like, what job should I have when I'm older? I had no idea. Like, you know, everybody knows that people are kind of important, right?
Yeah.
But the role that they would play, like I went into, I was an artist for a bit, and then I was a developer, and then I was a UX designer, and then I was like, hey, let's go try law school. Why? I don't know. Still don't know. But like each one of those was a pathway to the way that it played out then. I think it's different now for a lot of those careers. And each one of them, like every career has so much variance. You can do a lot of different things. But just realized more and more how much I wanted variety, how much I wanted people, like mentoring, coaching, guiding. And, you know, 20 years ago, it was being mentored and coached and guided more. Yeah. Still some of that. But then ideas. I've always been just passionate about. I've had random ideas for other people's companies, and I'm like, I got to hold those back. But,
you mean unsolicited feedback?
Yeah, and I just have to hold on to that.
Can you tell everybody what Verdi is?
Yeah. So Verdi, our grand mission, like way up here, elevate human decision making. We are building collaborative software, particularly like an editor-based experience, targeting right now product managers and their teams. We're helping people to make better product bets is the real current focus. And the reality is workflow software typically comes in one of 2 different domains. It's either system of record, like your CRM or HR system and all these. It's like a bunch of web forms, checklists. It's like you define every single input, step, output, all of those in advance.
Yeah.
Not a single person has ever enjoyed using any of those. Even great products have been built there relative to it. And it's better than like everybody using paper.
Yeah.
Better than everybody using email and all that. And it keeps everything connected, keeps it guided. But it's constricting. Every box that you create there is too big or too small, depending on the context.
Yeah.
And so all of the other decisions, the most important decisions usually, get made outside of those in a blank canvas. And Google Docs and Notion, great products that allow you to do whatever you want, but they don't guide you. They don't connect you. And so you end up with like this graveyard of all of these new documents that you throw away.
Yep.
What Verdi's bringing is a blank canvas interface with generative AI powered contextual guidance. This is based on what you're doing right now, based on what you did yesterday, based on the context of this document you're crafting. Here's what you might want to do next. You might want to go create this other document. You might want to go deeper into this concept. Here's an assumption you're making. Guide you at that level.
So I love the way that you kind of describe it and very articulate and concise, Brad.
That was the $200,000 I spent on law school right there. Just paid off.
I was going to say, we were both like leaning into that. That was really good.
Good.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no, I'm going to just ask you, for the audience that doesn't really get maybe the AI or even the product management world, just talk us through how a product manager coming along with a simple task would benefit from this platform that you're building for them. Just give us maybe a short example.
Yeah. Well, product management it's not unique, like categorically different from every other function, but there are some things that are really at the core of what make it hard. And here's the thing, every single job that you can have has the potential to be challenging. As a designer, as a developer, as a salesperson, I think a lot of times one function will look at others and say, oh, that looks easy. What I do is hard. No, every single function has its challenge. The first thing that makes product hard, though, is different than what is true for others. Product has so many different things that you could be doing. The first question is not, how do I do this? It's, what do I do?
Yeah.
And whereas with other types of functions, and particularly other types of scenarios, sometimes it's it's a deep function. Product is a very broad one. And so you land somebody into there. There's no, like 5 years ago, there was not an undergraduate degree for product.
Yeah.
Or a graduate one. Any way to go get trained is just like throw them into the deep end and hope they swim. And so what Verdi does is product manager logs in, and Verdi asks, what are you working on today? What's a problem that you're solving for your customer or for your company? One sentence. And then Verdi drops you into an editor experience and says, all right, hey, what is the outcome that that's trying to drive? Oh, great. Based on that outcome, based on that problem that you're looking to solve, who's the customer? And Verdi, the thing is, it's not just asking you these questions. It's not just a web form to go fill out. It's actually suggesting to you possible answers. Now, it's an editor. You are constantly in the driver's seat. At every step of the way, you can say, Verdi doesn't know what the answer is. I know the answer. Great, fantastic. We want for you to come and override it, to be editing. The key thing is it's as you go at every step of the way. You're always there guiding it and choosing which path to take. Verdi's trying to get rid of the annoying, bad friction that causes you not to do what you know you should do. I think every product manager knows that they should be testing out, mapping the assumptions that they're making. How many product managers actually map out the assumptions on every bet that they're making? It's because it's hard. It's because it takes time. It's because you're sucked into all of this other work. Verdi automates that.
Pretty
so
cool.
you go craft out this product brief in like 3 minutes. Verdi's already got your assumptions mapped out behind the scenes. You go take a look at it, and then you say, okay, which of these is my riskiest assumption? Okay, I'm gonna go test that. You're always guiding the flow. Verdi's not saying, hey, you have to do this before you can collect $200 in pass go, and all, like, but it's always ready to tell you what you could go do. And it's helping you to see what are the unanswered questions. That's at the root of it. It's, do we have unanswered questions that we could answer cheaply before we go answer them expensively? Before we go build it and throw it out there and find out nobody wants to use it, even though they told us for months that they wanted it.
I want to ask questions about use case, like products that have gone through it that maybe, you know, and what they've said about it, you know, product managers and what they've said about it when they've used it.
Let's talk. You share that, and then we'll go back to how you got it here, because I know there was a pivot, right?
There was a pivot.
So let's do an example though.
We have a wide range of things people get excited about, and we have a lot of things. So we've been building this for the last year, and we've been getting the product in people's hands since like the first 5 weeks in. And of course, at that point, it wasn't a product. It was like a couple of pages, and right. And so we've had probably 200 people checking it out over the last year, and we've had both a lot of fantastic, helpful, constructive feedback of, okay, this is nice. What do I do with it? What's next? Right. A lot of really helpful feedback on what to do next.
Right.
The things people get really excited about are, if you are, let's take it from two different vantage points. As a product leader, I've talked to product leaders who are trying to hire junior product managers and create kind of a scale, right? Have a balance within their organization. And it's really, really hard to go and onboard, like have the time to onboard them and train them in this really complex, broad, and deep discipline. And so they get excited about, Verdi can bring me all of the frameworks and apply them at the right moment, and also help them to not be static, like help my junior PMs to step in, and without having to go and read all of the books out there, like they should go read them too, but before they've done that, be able to have guidance on, here's how you might approach this problem. This particular brand new feature versus brand new product versus tech debt versus like all these different types of problems. Oh, got it. So I need to approach this one in this way rather than some blanket answer.
Yeah.
So people get really excited about, wow, you can take a brand new product manager who has no training and get them up to speed. Awesome.
Yeah.
You can help my people who I've got, great mid-level product managers, and still I end up in a lot of one-on-one level conversations asking questions that maybe they knew but forgot, or maybe just because of how broad this discipline is, maybe they didn't know to go ask that question, or maybe they were going to get to it, but they're just not there yet. Can we jump to graduate level conversation faster?
Yeah.
Oh, incredible. And can we go and I can give them a task, I can give them a new problem to go solve today, and literally this afternoon they come back to me with, here's my understanding of that problem, as opposed to next week.
Yeah.
Like, these are the kind of things that a product leader's excited about.
Yeah.
Product manager, I had a senior product manager on a month ago who jumps in, describes the problem, and Verdi plays back to him, here's a framing of that possible problem. Here's who your customer might be. Here's the outcome that you're targeting. He sees the outcome and he's like, that is the outcome.
Yeah. Good job.
Like how did it come up with that? But fantastic that it did. That is the outcome that I'm targeting. And as soon as he saw that, he was a good enough product manager to say, you know what? I'm jumping too far down the road. I need to back up and say, all right, are there other ways I can go target this outcome?
Yeah.
So for senior product managers, there's just so much going on all the time. It's help me to not miss things through the cracks.
Yeah.
Help me to see what I'm not seeing here. Help me to do it faster. I don't have time. He was mentoring a junior product manager. Help me to actually do all of the crazy things I've got to do in a week and actually get them done.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's
I love that. You had a pivot. I'm interested.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
interested in that pivot too.
I know this is a short interview, so it's going to be dangerous, but just go back to, you were already building something. I think it had the same name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe more about innovation. I can't remember now, but tell us what you were doing and what made you pivot, just so that the audience can see how important that was for you.
We did pivot. We dropped the entire code base, started from scratch about 15 months ago. And, what really happened is we were building toward the same problem as we are now. We were a little bit more focused on product. We're still very focused on product, but we see an opportunity to go beyond that sooner with what we're doing. It's more general use beyond that, faster. But we were using the old tech. So if you think about that paint by numbers, blank canvas, system of record versus a document tool, we were trying to solve the same problem with the paint by numbers solution. And we thought we had a novel, interesting way to approach it. There's other folks who have tried before. We actually talked to some of the folks who've done it before, trying to build on what they learned. And what I realized is that at the time it felt almost like it felt like so real and yet somewhat naive to say it. But what I realized is that people needed structure and flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was trying to do is I was trying to build flexibility on top of structure. What I needed to do was flip it. What I needed to do is not have a flexible set of web forms, checklists, process steps.
Right.
What I need to do is instead have a guided blank canvas.
Yeah.
Coaching instead of managing. It's not the system of record that manages your work. It's a system of record that coaches and guides your work.
How did you realize that?
As soon as I got the product in my own hands, and then we tried to see if we could take that product to market and still build from there. And then I'm still confident that we could have. I'm still confident that product that we built was a good product that could have turned into something, but the opportunity size was significantly smaller, and it was going to take a lot longer. And so as pivots are hard.
So does that shift open? So does that open up your audience? Is that
it opens up the audience? Well, here's the key difference. What we built then was really valuable from a leadership perspective.
Right.
Because one of the challenges with product is that it's a black box.
Yeah.
Not just for all of the other functions that have no idea what product does, including the engineers that work with them every day, but even for their leadership. And so as a product leader, knowing where product is, like where delivery is, that's in Jira, that's in hopefully Linear or some other tool. But you don't have any clue what's going on in discovery except by randomly or just by, you don't have enough time to talk to everybody all the time and stay up to speed on that. And so it's a black box from that perspective. And so what we were building then was valuable from a leadership perspective, but was not engaging from a user perspective. What we've got now is, it's as valuable and engaging to a frontline individual as Notion, as Google Docs, as any of these other blank canvas tools. But it comes along with an understanding of your outcomes, your workflow. It is automatically connecting across different documents, across different teams. So you go do research one day and discover something. I'm doing something on something that is related. In the background, the knowledge graph is watching for those connections. Says, you might want to go talk to Josh. He just had an interesting interview with a customer.
So the one question we ask everybody is, what does it take to take an idea and create a movement, change, or create something that's never existed before? It's interesting to hear other people's different answers to a very similar question. It's a big question, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts
from your experience.
What it takes to do that.
It's a fascinating question at the heart of what Verdi's doing, helping other people do exactly that.
Yeah, that's a really great point.
And the thing I'll say, the thing that really is, the first thing I'll say is that it's different for every idea. You'll have a lot of people talk about different product frameworks, different startup frameworks, different best practices. And the reality is there is not a single universal best practice out there. And so there's not a single answer to the question, which is why everybody gives you a different one.
Yeah.
But not everybody understands that they're giving you one of many. And the most important thing I would say is to understand, why does the world want this idea to happen? And by the way, sometimes the world doesn't. So that's an important thing to figure out pretty quick. And sometimes the world might, but there's a lot of nuance of where it depends. And so key thing for me is figure out why might the world want this to exist? What definition of the world? Who is going to want this to exist? What is it going to take to get it to them? And so you're looking at, in Verdi, it's all about these assumptions. Figure out, what are your assumptions? What has to be true for this to really come to life? And then you go tackle those individually. And in some cases, it takes a lot of technical effort. And in some cases, the technical effort is pretty peanut butter, right? It's just already there. And easy. You can even no code some of these things, right? In some cases, it takes a ton of marketing effort. In some cases, not. And in some cases, it takes a ton of brute force sales effort, right? And in some cases, it takes a lot of nuanced relationship sales effort. And so it's different for everyone. And it's all about understanding what is this thing?
Yeah.
What does it want to become? It's almost like leadership or parenting in a sense.
Yeah. Of the idea itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's incredible.
And so so your recommendation is when can people use it? Because they might as well get started, like get in there and like try their idea and like figure it out, whether they're a product manager, actually anyone that's an entrepreneurial, has an entrepreneurial spirit. Can they use it today?
They can come today, yeah.
Where do they go?
Go to, hit me up on LinkedIn or Twitter or X or whatever we call that now.
Right.
So someday that'll just become normal and everybody's going to.
I don't think so. I don't know.
5 years from now.
Yeah.
We'll call it something. We'll all call it the same thing. We don't know what it'll be.
Yeah.
Or just go to our website, www.getverdi.com.
Cool.
Excellent. And I think that's about it. Kiln, are you enjoying Kiln? Yeah,
I'm loving Kiln, but there is one other thing. I believe there was an opportunity.
Yes. Well, we got a t-shirt.
Before we get into the rest of the episode, we want to thank the partners and sponsors who made the Kiln Road Trip possible. The Kiln Road Trip is brought to you by Kiln. Kiln is a boutique co-working and flex office community with 13 locations in 6 states across the West, dedicated to providing innovative workspaces that empower your team to thrive. Whether you're a solo visionary or an enterprise-level team of up to 100, Kiln transcends being merely a place to work. It's a hub for learning and connecting with like-minded professionals that will make you and your team love where you work.
And if you haven't stepped foot inside a kiln yet, you really need to. On this road trip, we visited every single location, and trust us when we say once you see these beautifully designed spaces, meet the talented team, and connect with fellow members, you won't want to work anywhere else.
Locations include Utah, Colorado, Idaho, Oregon, California, and Arizona. And they're growing too, with multiple locations set to open in 2024.
Yeah, so be sure to check out the Kiln locations nearest you by booking a tour at Kiln.com and answer Swell in the question, how did you hear about us? Once you complete the tour, you'll be entered into a competition where you could win a 1-year membership, their club membership at Kiln.
Yep, you heard that. That's Kiln.com, book a tour, and be sure to mention Swell in the question, how did you hear about us?
The Kiln Road Trip is also brought to you by Moterra Camper Vans, a luxury camper van rental company for iconic road trips. Their top-of-the-line vans are available at 7 locations located near America's best outdoor adventure destinations. They have consistently earned the highest customer ratings in the industry, making Moterra camper vans your gateway to adventure without sacrificing on comfort or service.
That's true, and initially we wanted to take this journey in a 1960s VW bus, but thankfully we found Moterra instead. With 3 van options, we took the Pop Top Classic, which sleeps 4 and is best for those who want to maximize floor space and storage. This was critical for us because it needed to sleep the entire crew, we needed space to edit, and we were traveling with large amounts of equipment, luggage, and other goodies that we picked up along the way.
And this van took us through all 3,580 miles of the trip. Super comfortable and sweet to drive.
And actually, Moterra offers fully planned itineraries if you'd rather leave the planning to someone else.
Visit gomoterra.com/swell. That's gomoterra.com/swell.
This episode is also brought to you by Taurus. Taurus is leading the charge in home energy storage. Taurus makes it easy to achieve energy independence and a greener tomorrow. The Taurus station provides everything you need to generate clean power, efficiently store electricity, and easily manage your energy use.
And installing a Taurus station offers plenty of benefits, including save money on your electricity bill,
also ensure energy security with backup power during outages,
reduce carbon emissions with renewables.
You can also automate EV charging and HVAC systems with 100% renewables,
and enjoy unrivaled system monitoring and support.
If you like the sound of those benefits, get a quote to build your Taurus station in less than 30 seconds. Super easy at taurus.co. That's TORUS.co. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Yes. Let me get this.
We'll worry about the t-shirt in a minute. I've got something for you guys. I've got 2 things here.
No way.
Is one of you sweet and one salty?
I'm probably more salty. I don't know. Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Only occasionally, Josh.
Yeah.
So these are. So I don't eat potato chips.
Okay.
I just
Never eat potato chips?
I don't know, like I'd never, but they just don't do it for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of potato chips.
Well, then today's gonna be your day.
I'm very excited.
Because I do eat these potato chips, and I don't usually do advertisements for other companies, but I'll tell you, Torres Selecta,
Okay.
fantastic, out of Spain, and these are black truffle.
Oh.
So these are like pinkies up.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Now the other thing I've got, so Spencer, you're gonna get this, and you guys can both share each of these.
That's insane.
This is from a company called Naive. And the reason I thought this was so this is dark chocolate.
This is
Take it
perfect.
personally.
Yeah.
So the
You did
reason
that just me, didn't you?
I did. So if you come by my desk, I've got 10 chocolate bars ready to go just about any time. And dark chocolate usually.
Dark chocolate, yeah.
This one is fantastic. It is a beautiful bar of chocolate. It's dark chocolate. And the thing about it, so this company, they do nanolot micro batches of chocolate. And it's very much a social enterprise. They partner with the growers. And what it's all about is people are naive to how their food gets produced. So that's
Clever branding.
Right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And the reason I thought this is appropriate, because I could have chosen 9 other chocolate bars for today, is because what you guys are doing, similar to what Verdi's doing, is you're acknowledging that we're all naive in this world. You guys are going and finding the stories to help bring to light this insight that's going to help us all figure out that step forward, right? So enjoy the chocolate,
Thank you.
enjoy the brand.
Very thoughtful.
That is incredible.
That might win
Appreciate
the
that.
most thoughtful. Well, I mean, that was
Right after the sperm stress
I mean,
ball.
this is amazing. Thank you, Brad.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Kiln Road Trip. Be sure to follow along on the rest of the journey, and you can do that in 2 ways. 1, subscribe to the podcast, whether you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or maybe even watching on YouTube, and follow along on all of our social media platforms, whether you're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or TikTok, at the Swell Pod. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next episode.